everyone. So today I'm going to be sharing with you my updated face makeup routine. So that's going to be my foundation and my contouring. This is more of an everyday approach, so my contouring is a little bit lighter as well as my blush choice. So let's go. Okay, so first thing, this is kind of part of my skincare routine, but I think it's very important when it comes to foundation, is moisturizing. So I've been using the Cetaphil Daily Moisturizer. I always like using a daytime moisturizer with SPF. It's pretty important to me because I always forget to actually put sunscreen on. So knowing that I'm covered with SPF in my moisturizer and then also in my foundation makes it a little bit easier, makes me feel a little bit more at ease knowing that my face is protected. So next comes primer. I've been testing this one for about a month and a half and I've actually come to really enjoy it. It's the Coastal Scents Beginnings Face Primer. So about a half a pump is actually all I need for my face. And then I tend to focus right here on my nose and that surrounding area because that's where I have the most obvious pores, large pores, so that's what I want to diminish. Okay, next usually comes concealer for me. So one concealer that I really enjoy, but I haven't been using because I don't have the right shade anymore, is the LA Girl Pro Conceal HD Concealer. This is like $3 in drugstores and supermarkets and online. I've had makeup artists tell me that they use this concealer in their kit because it is such high quality and it's dirt cheap. I actually am not using this though because this shade isn't right for me anymore. It was more so over summer, but not so much anymore. So the concealer that I'm using is the Mary Kay concealer, and this is actually in the shade yellow. I have yellow undertones in my skin, and this actually helps even out the redness that is around my blemishes. So I just take a little bit onto my ring finger and I will place it on top of my blemishes and just pat around it to help blend that in. And I work with just very little amount at a time because I don't want it to get too cakey, especially because I'm putting foundation on over this. I feel like the yellow really does help neutralize the red. It doesn't make orange, I promise. And if you feel like the concealer that you're using at home is ending up looking too cakey, try putting it on over your foundation because you'll probably be prompted to use less since your foundation is going to help coverage anyway. So that's just a little trick. I'm also going to pop this underneath my eyes. So next is my foundation, and this should come as no surprise to my subscribers. I'm using the Neutrogena Healthy Skin Liquid Makeup. It was the very first foundation I ever tried, and I always just come back to it because my skin loves it. Natural beige is a perfect match for me, and I have a really hard time finding something that matches this well. So there are two brushes that I tend to use with my foundation depending on what I'm looking for, and I know they're kind of dirty, sorry. This is the Crown Brush Infinity Bronzer Brush. It's basically a buffer, and I really like this if I'm going for full coverage, I need heavy application. And what I'm probably going to use today though is the e.l.f. Stipple brush, which I also really like for liquid foundation, especially when it is so liquidy like this formula. It allows me to use less product, so it's definitely more of a light application. So I'm going to go ahead and use the stipple brush today. So I just tap the stipple brush into the product and then I tap it on to my face. And this is gonna kind of create a pixel perfect effect. And you just keep going until you blend it all in. And I forgot, I think it was Wayne Goss who I looked for how to use a stipple brush. And he's like, don't go like this, it's gonna create streaks. You tap it on. You know, in that charming Wayne Goss type of voice he has. So when I start off my contouring routine, I use bronzer first. So this is the City Color Be Matte Bronzer. I always opt for matte bronzer for contouring because that's how you're gonna create shadows. Shadows aren't sparkly, y'all. So this is the Real Techniques contour brush. It came in their core collection, which has a set of, I think, 5 face brushes. So when I contour, I kind of start where my tragus of the ear is. That's what this little nub is. You'll learn something new every day. I kind of make this Rachel Whitehurst type face, like to find where my cheekbone is, and then I just start buffing it forward and diffusing it as it gets closer to the center of my face. And as you can see, I am swirling in small circular motions to help blend that out. And then I just bring it up a little bit onto my temples and into my hairline, just to get a little bit of color up there. So for highlighter, I mean, even though this is generally my preference, but especially in winter when our skin's a little bit drier, I do opt for cream highlighter or liquid highlighter. So I really love the Revlon Photo Ready Skin Lights Face Illuminator. This is in the shade Pink Light. So I'm gonna start like right here at the highest point of my cheek and then go forward and kind of stop right here and just blend. So I'm just tapping that, and I keep going back and forth until that's blended to how I like it. This can get to be intense, this highlighter. If you put too much on, it's gonna be like Spotlight. Although the big trend this year, as seen in New York Fashion Week, is like dewy, sweaty skin. Not really my favorite look though. And I love that this doesn't add like chunky glitter. I hate highlighters that have chunky glitter. It's just very glowy sheen there. Lastly is blush. I'm gonna use a cream blush because I just love the texture and how it feels. And if you have really oily skin, then you might want to be using different products. I definitely have more combo skin and I can tolerate more cream and liquid products. So just to put that out there, but I'm gonna be using the Maybelline Master Glaze Blush Stick. This is in the shade Just Pinched Pink, and this I just apply now straight from the tube, and I kind of just dot that on a little bit up. You've got time to work with this. It does not set very quickly. Take the stipple brush and just start blending in a circular motion. I love this stipple brush. It's so small, so you can use it with a lot of cream blushes. It gives like this very diffused airbrush look that I really like with my blush. So all that's left to do is to set my makeup, because I did use a lot of liquid and cream products. I don't want them to be slipping and sliding if I get oily, and I want to just make sure I don't really get oily anyway. So this is one that I've liked. It's the Neutrogena Shine Control Powder. It feels very smooth on my skin, and for this I use the Real Techniques blush brush. I feel like this head is so large to be putting blush on. Like when I used to try to put blush on with this, the blush would just be everywhere because it's so big. So I stopped using it for blush. Maybe my face is just small, but I find that it works really well for all over powder because it's so big. So again, I use mostly tapping motions, especially over that cream blush because we want that to stay put. Sometimes I'll take my finger and just throw that underneath my eyes to set that concealer, and then also focus right near my nose because that's where I get the oiliest. So that's pretty much my face makeup routine, foundation, and contouring for fall and winter. I'm very curious to see how your routine changes as we get into the colder months. If you change foundations or different types of products, leave it in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you go, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! So the idea behind Pinch Me is that every other Tuesday they put up free samples that you can claim, targeted to you based on a personality quiz that you take. You can choose like 2 to 4, I think, to put in a box to be sent to you completely free.